Hi, look at this.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back to
Welcome.
episode 2.
Episode 2.
Sorry
Welcome.
we missed last week. We
Yeah,
all
we're
got the
stomach
stomach bug.
bugs. So bad.
Actually, Ellie started it.
And then it just
And
picked up like a trend.
yeah, it was
I
bad.
was like, oh, thank God we're adults and we have better immune system than she does. And next to you know,
I was literally, yeah, in and out of the bathroom from like 12 a.m. to 4 p.m. and I couldn't keep anything down. So that's why
you know what's
we
crazy
missed.
though? The fact that me and you both woke up at Mia sleeping on the couch, you sleeping in the room. We woke up at the exact same time to yak.
We were like,
She was like,
baby, I'm
she
gonna
was,
throw up.
I'm like, she was like, babe, watch Ellie. I'm gonna throw up and be like, I was like, me too.
I ran to the bathroom and he ran to
To the
the
kitchen,
kitchen.
to the trash
And
can.
we were literally like, together.
It's so bad.
Sorry, TMI.
TMI. But this is the reason why we didn't get to record episode 2.
Yeah, but we missed you guys and
Yeah.
we're so excited for today's episode. We loved getting your questions
Yep.
after
We
episode
actually got a good
1.
amount. So obviously we're back. The Shellos. I'm Jerry.
And Marianne.
Yep. And we have Baby Monitor again. We got the Love is Blind cups, the infamous Love is Blind cups. And yeah, we're just here to yap away, talk about relationships, talk about life,
Yeah.
kids, everything.
Yeah, so this week we're actually going to talk about how we started dating. It was a very famous question that we
Yeah.
got.
Yeah, it really was.
So we're gonna touch on that.
Yep.
So I don't know if you want to start.
Well, that was funny though. I mean, like how we said last time, we've been married for how many years now?
3.
We made 3 years. We've been dating for a couple more beyond that. I lost track because
5.
something like that.
Algo
But
por ahí. 6.
we lost track after like 1. But yeah, it was pretty good. I think I was how old? I was potentially 24, 25, 23,
When we started dating,
23, 24.
I was 19.
Yeah.
We're 4 years apart, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This year I'm turning 30.
You're turning
I'm
30.
this is my last year being
Dirty
30.
30s.
So this is gonna be an interesting year because as you guys know, I'm no longer a 20-year-old. I'm officially an adult. So
An adult. So
yeah.
what am I? My frontal lobe just closed.
It really did. It really did. So she's 25, obviously. I'm turning 30. She's going on 26.
It's crazy though. Like my frontal lobe closed, and all of a sudden, like today, I was cooking. I was telling him all of a sudden I'm putting little corn in rice, and I was like, "Yo, this is good." Before, like when my mom used to make it, I'd be like, "Ew," and I used to like pick them all out, and now I'm just like, "It's good."
Sorry, I'm moving my mic stand. We put it a little too far.
Oh my bad.
Okay.
But yeah, so we started dating, and it's actually a really funny story because when we started
We
dating,
actually got married within like a year, but then we ended up planning a wedding 5 months in.
it was so funny.
Like
I
it
think
took 5 months to
everything
plan.
was a year
Yeah, it was
between
crazy. It
us
was crazy.
because
I'm sorry, I'm jumping.
we started in 2019, like courting,
Mm-hmm.
talking,
Mm-hmm.
courting. And then 2020, he asked me to be his girlfriend. And it was so cute the way he did it. He got me the Adventure Challenge book. And
Which we never completed.
we did one. But he gave it to me. He was like, he's like, would you, what did you say?
I was like, you're my best view. And no, what did I say? I was like, you want to go on an adventure with me officially? Something like that.
Yeah. And I was like,
Something super corny.
I was like, yes. And then we went to Garibaldi. For those from Yonkers, YO.
From the Worcester area.
Yeah, we went to Garibaldi and we just ate. We did big bag activities.
Honestly, that's basically the entire relationship. Those that know, those that get into relationships, gain a little bit of weight.
Yeah, it's good for you.
At that point, it's like you realize that like all you really do is just eat together a lot.
Yeah.
Especially married. I mean, that's kind of all we do. Like 3 times a day. Well, one.
When we're together.
We're together
During the
3 times a day.
weekends.
During the weekdays, it's just for dinner time.
Yeah. But so 2019 courting, 2020 dating, And then 2021, we got engaged. And that was also a really funny story. So let's start from that one.
Mm. Kick it off. Kick it
So
off.
2021, we started we were dating, and I remember I was working, and we were just talking about like weddings. I don't know why. And we were like, yo, how much
You don't know
would a
why.
wedding actually cost? I remember that was my question. And then we were on the phone. I was working. We were on the
I
phone.
think because we were sending each other memes about like all these like
How much weddings would
extravagant,
be?
extravagant weddings, like these like Middle Eastern Dubai weddings. They got like leopards and like animals.
So,
It looks like a sight and sound
yo,
production.
seriously.
So we were just like, yo, I wonder how much we can actually spend. So I think what was it like? We were just like, oh, let's look around,
Yeah.
and then I don't know how, but Facebook would just be doing its own thing. For those of you that know that have Facebook or any sort of social media or Amazon, like I guess it heard me, and out of nowhere, my Facebook feed is like, hey, check out this new up and coming venue from voted best of the year or something like that. And I was like, all right. I clicked on it, and it took me to like those websites for like venues and stuff like that. But it gave me that one specifically. So we ended up looking it. We ended up emailing, getting a package to see what it was like. Pa joder.
Mm,
But we were just like, yo, these numbers are kind of like possible. Like I think like with the packages they were giving us, all in all, it was like what under like at least the previews they were like under 6K.
yeah. But
Sorry, we're like looking at Ellie because she's like moving slightly.
yeah.
And I know some people made the comments. The reason why we whisper is because we have a baby sleeping right next door. So if you hear me, I'm trying to keep our levels pretty decent. But if you don't hear us as much, raise your volume. But no. If you don't hear us as much, it's because we're whispering because we're not trying to make Ellie wake up.
Yeah.
Because for those,
Oh, she grabbed her bottle. Anyways, okay, she's fine. So he got the quotes for the venue. So I was looking at some venues in Florida. I was like, yo, I want to get married in this garden.
oh
But
yeah,
that was just in my head. I hadn't really actually said, hey, let's get married. Like we were just looking for quotes.
we were just curious.
And us looking for quotes, I don't know where the turn took that it was just like, all right, we're planning a wedding.
We were just all right. Let's put on the deposit real quick.
So we started looking at venues in April. No, in June, sorry. And then in August, he had found that venue and he was like, hey, babe, he's like, go see this venue. And I was like, okay, so you're not coming with me?
I was working.
He was working.
I was working, to be fair.
So, and I love to drive. Like, I don't mind driving because it was an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
No, like almost 3.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll go.
Mari, being a teenager, she was like, you know what?
I'm going to go
I'm gonna
by
just go.
myself.
I'm gonna go and find out.
Literally.
And you did.
So I went to the venue
They
and
gave you a tour,
oh
right?
my gosh,
I
yes,
don't,
I
I don't, I
fell
don't,
in
I
love
don't, I
with
don't remember
it.
that much, but
So
they gave you a whole
they
tour.
gave me a tour. It was with other couples, but I went. It was in August, and I went and I was like, oh my god, I love it. And I only saw one venue, and
That was
that
the
was our
one.
venue.
That was the one venue. I'm like, wow, that one venue we saw on Facebook that was listening in on me became the venue we got married in.
No, it was really like it was so nice, super nice, and we didn't want to like spend crazy money either because
And it was up. It was like I said, it was like an up and coming venue, so it was fairly cheap.
yeah,
Now they like tripled their price.
yeah,
So
it's
thank God we got
expensive.
married.
No, for real.
Because I think they opened up right when COVID ended. They ended up like renovating or whatever.
Yeah, and
But
we got married like when COVID was barely finishing.
yeah, I
Yes.
remember we almost postponed it because like people were like cases were coming back up.
Yo, literally, I remember putting in the wedding invitation. You might have to get COVID tested before coming
Yeah,
or
because
something like that because it was rising again.
it's like the
But
dark ages.
yeah, so we ended up booking the venue. I have. I'll show you guys the picture. When we were sending the check. to deposit it. But we weren't even engaged. Like we just started planning a wedding and we weren't even engaged.
I don't know if it's just like us being blissfully like just about it or go with the flow. Sorry, I don't even know if you can hear, but anyways, I don't know if we're just blissfully about it, but like ever since we started dating, we've been kind of like the couple of like, yo, you down? I'm down,
Down.
and we just do things. Like the reason why we even started this was because of that. 'Cause we were like, we've been thinking about doing this. Well, I wanted to do this when I came back from school, and just like, yeah, I want to do something similar to like a podcast or like some sort of like some news channel. I don't know, something just reacting to like chisme, which we might end up doing. But
This is
like,
our chisme for you guys.
but I remember, yeah, we just always been like, oh, like you down to do it? Yeah, let's do it. And long story short, we ended up signing, putting a down payment, planning, putting all these like vendors together.
Mind you, my parents are very traditional.
Oh yeah,
So I had told Hera, I was like, babe, you have to talk to my dad. Like you have to ask for my hand in marriage.
old school Hispanics now.
Literally. And I don't know how we got around that we were planning a wedding, but I wasn't saying anything to my parents. And then one day, I think it was for my birthday, we were sitting in the kitchen, we were about to eat, and my dad goes, I heard you guys are getting married. And I was like, where'd you hear that?
I was like, no way. He probably checked the deposit or
He was
whatever.
like, why didn't you guys say anything? And I was like, I denied it. Mi papá está viendo ahorita. Y yo lo negué, yo lo negué.
Yeah, because she was like, oh, you have to talk to my dad first.
No, seriously, I was like,
Mind
bro.
you, at the time, we already had the wedding date.
Yeah, this was
Because we
August.
had to, like, kind of, like, plan, pick a date. That way they could, like, give us, like, the actual, like, full package. First, even put the down payment. So we went through the whole process of, like, venue hunting and all that kind of stuff. So we already had the date. We're like, oh, yeah, we're not even engaged yet, but we're getting married. We're getting married in March.
Yeah, and like there was no ring, nothing. So, um, I think that was August, and
Low
then
key, now I think about it, I think we low key eloped.
probably.
Probably. I think low key, like, halfway was the eloption. And the rest was just like, all right, let's tell everybody. I don't know. I think that kind of like I said, it's just the reason why I guess we just work. We just get things done
Yeah.
because we're like, for what? What? Let's just get it done. Get it not get it over with, but like let's just do it.
I think at some point, especially being in a place like how we grew up in church,
Oh
and
yeah,
in church you see a lot of people just like getting married, um and we grew up around that.
yeah.
So to me, I was like, yo, like we've been dating for a while now, like yeah, casémonos, what are we waiting for? Like what else? Like if we know that basically God put us together, because from the beginning it was kind of, it's
I
gonna
think we
sound
mentioned. I think
cliche.
we mentioned that in the last podcast. Like we've known each other since like, we were like
I was
kids.
11 when I met him,
I was 15.
and we were in church all the
We were
time.
just friends though. We didn't really talk like that.
Yeah, but we were always, they would always
We would
put
do
us to do
activities
things together.
together. Yeah, we would just do a lot of things together.
So this was just God's way of like putting us back together and like, yeah, cásense.
Literally. But like I said, I always like the practical side of things.
Yeah.
Like for example, like I was just like sometimes like some people are like, oh, sometimes you gotta take your time. You gotta know like 7 years and all that kind of stuff. You gotta live together. All that kind of no. First of all, I'm like depending. I think this is the reason why it worked is because we have our moral compass pointing in the same direction because we both believed strongly that like to not live together before getting married. That if you are gonna get married, that it's not just like
It's not just a piece of paper.
a piece of paper. It's not just like up until like we feel like it. It's not just until things are easy and then things get difficult, then we split up and whatever. Da da da.
Yeah.
Like having to deal with like custody, whatever whatever people go through. Like we or whatever people think. Like some people just get into relationships just to get into relationships, but I think we were both in the place of like, hey, like this is for real,
Yeah.
and I'm like, if you're down and you've thought about it, and I'm down and we've thought about it, and that's what we want, let's go for it.
Yeah. So, so whatever, right? We had the venue.
Oh yeah.
Going back to the story, we had the venue. September passes, no ring. October passes, no ring. And I'm like, yo, everybody's getting engaged, and we got a wedding day, bro. Like,
What was it? How many months were we away? 5?
I had my wedding dress already. I picked out my wedding dress in October, and I was like, I can't post anything. I'm not engaged. Like,
Oh
what do I
yeah.
look like? I had asked
You
my
had said yes to the dress and everything,
I
right?
had said yes to the dress. My mom, at that point, my parents knew, but still hadn't asked my dad.
Oh yeah.
But I went wedding shopping with my mom, with your mom, my grandma, my sister-in-law. Everybody was on board, but there was no ring. I had asked my bridesmaids to be my bridesmaids.
We
Um,
had everything
we
basically.
had paid the DJ.
No, it wasn't that far, was it?
Yeah, October.
Oh damn.
Anyways, we basically had a wedding with no ring. And then
With no proposal.
comes November, and his birthday's in November.
Yep.
So I wanted to plan a surprise birthday party for him because
Mind you, my birthday is like 2 days before the end of November.
right
So she
before
had to wait the entire
Thanksgiving.
she had to wait the entire month of November.
He says wait because what he did to me is foul. What happened that day is foul.
Somewhere. We could probably talk about it at a different time. But
So basically, the day
quickly,
of our engagement, I decided to throw him a surprise birthday party, and everybody was on board. I had a whole group chat. I even remember the name, La Sorpresa Pa Jay, right?
So I knew nothing about this, right?
He knew nothing about this, and I had ordered him the PS5. Yo, to get him that PS5, I had to call his brother because I was working. I was like, Rico, I was
My
like,
brother.
Rico. I was like, do it, please, because I can't. I'm working. And thank God for Rico. Shout out to Ricky. We got the PS5, and that's
Which I don't
when
even touch anymore, which is hilarious
literally.
because I went into PC gaming, for those that know.
But in 2022, so that was like a hot pancake. Everybody wanted it.
That was the time we had to like get in line and get on email listings and all this kind of stuff. Felt like you were like in the black market for it or something like that.
Seriously. So I woke up that day to plan his birthday, and first of all, I got up and it was already bad because I had cramps. I was in a bad mood, whatever. I hop into the shower real quick, and then I get out, and there's a little post-it on the door. And when the mailman comes and they can't find you, they just leave it. They're like, "Oh, we'll be back Monday." I was like, "Monday?" I was like, "I need that today. Like today is the birthday.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I need to surprise him today." And I called FedEx and I was like, "You guys need to bring it back, or can you guys drop it off at a location? I'll go pick it up." I was all over the place. Anyways, they brought it back. Great. I went to Yonkers because at that point I was living up in Hawthorne. I came to Yonkers to get a cake, to get things for your birthday party, and Lord and behold, in Ratata land,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
my tires get slashed. Well, one of them. And I'm like, oh my God, this day can't get any worse.
Did
They
it?
No,
No, it didn't get that bad.
honestly, they had everything under control at his house because I had called Ricky. I was like, Ricky, somebody slashed my tire. I was like, I got the balloons, but I was like, if you can go and get some balloons, he's like, I got it, I got it. I was like, all right, cool. And I didn't think anything of it. So, un viejito me ayudó a cambiar la llanta to the spare. I drove to his house. He wasn't there. I just dropped off the things. I didn't even think of going in. Like I was like, I trusted our friend so much
You were
to
just busy that
yeah, like
day.
I had to keep him busy because he was at church serving
Yeah.
and he was gonna come. So mind you, I don't have my nails done. I don't have my hair done. Like I was all over the place. So he gets to my house como si nada.
What was it? You were
And
like, oh, come to the house. I have like breakfast.
yeah, it was like 2 p.m. So I made him some food. And then it was getting late. And I was like, "Yo, I'm going to do my nails because For those who don't know, I used to be a nail tech, so I used to always have my nails done. So I was like, I'm gonna do my nails real quick just to keep him busy.
Me just sitting in the room like
Yeah, and so
I
my
was just on my phone. I was like, what do I gotta do? But this whole time, obviously, I knew exactly what was happening because like you like how you said that you had basically prepped a surprise party
Mhm.
with decorations that you selected, but obviously we knew that none of that was actually being put up.
Yeah,
So
and he says none of that because one of our friends had told him that I was planning a birthday surprise, and they decided to make that a surprise engagement.
yeah, that was I had an original plan of like going up in the Pocono, not Poconos, the Adirondacks. So I don't know. I had
Going
some like I
hiking
had
because we
some
used to love going hiking together.
yeah. So I used to have this whole plan, but we were like, you know what? Long story short, she's throwing her birthday party. It's probably the best time because she invited all your family members and everybody that's close to you. Do it there, and we did. And she didn't expect one single thing about it, which is hilarious.
No, and it's funny because when we were at my house, I was finishing my nails, and my mom goes, ¿A
Oh
qué hora
my!
es? ¿A qué horas es allá con el Jerry? And I'm like, Mom. So I'm standing.
And I'm standing behind her,
I'm
and I'm
like,
just like,
I'm like, and my mom is like, she's like, okay, bye.
she's terrible at keeping secrets. It was so bad. My heart dropped 'cause I was like, what are you talking about?
My heart dropped because I was like, he doesn't know that I'm throwing him a surprise party. So whenever we get to his house,
Yeah, I feel like such a long time ago.
yo,
Anyways,
I didn't even have blindfolds, bro. I forgot the blindfolds. So I had this fluffy sweater. I put it over his head.
I think we should.
I put the fluffy sweater over his head. I was like, let's go walk.
We'll probably share the video,
We'll share the
the
video.
slight video. It's a quick video, just of what we're talking about.
And then I walked in and boom, the ring.
It was not funny though, cause yeah, you I think you had put like that like stream wall. What's that thing called?
I didn't put it. I honestly, I didn't even see the
Right. So the
decorations.
way it works is that like there's like a mud room, and then you turn to the right, and it's my living room, right? So they had put like these like what are those called?
The little thingies, the shimmery thingies.
Yeah,
I forgot what it's
it's,
called.
it's just like it looks like those car wash things, but it's just like decorate. It's just decoration. It's gold
That you
decorations.
hang on the door.
But yeah, so she couldn't see. So she peeked inside,
I didn't
and
even peek inside. I was like, Rico.
but you can like
I
peek
was
through
like,
it. You
I
can
was
like
like,
peek through it.
Rico, play las mañanitas.
And mind you, I had our wedding song playing. So in my head too, I'm like, me blindfolded. I'm like, oh, when are they gonna play the songs? When are they gonna play the song? And I'm just there waiting, and I'm
And I'm
just
so
like,
gullible. It's dark and I can't see. I'm blind. First of all, I'm blind.
oh yeah,
I have astigmatism and whatever. And whatever. I'm blind.
yeah,
And I'm like, bro, play las mañanitas, bro. And all of a sudden you hear,
get you. No,
um,
best part
best part
by Daniel
start playing.
Caesar.
And I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, huh? So I enter in shock. I'm about to cry. I was like, I had one tear rolled down. I was like, no, they ain't gonna see me cry today.
Pretty much. That was crazy.
But anyways, we entered. He plops down. He asks me to be his wife.
Mind you, I had no speech prepared because no one told me that in order for you to get engaged, you have to kind of have a speech. So,
But he did speak to my dad though.
no, yeah, no, like, but I'm talking about like a speech. So no one told me. Not my best man, not my friend, the court at the time. No one told me, hey, have a speech, because I've never. I don't know if it's just a guy thing, but I never grew up watching like romance movies or whatever. I've never seen a proposal like that. Maybe like when I was a kid, but I don't remember. No idea you're supposed to give a speech. I thought you just walk in, ring, and that's it.
How? Not even will you marry me? Just
Yeah,
ring.
just ring. No, but like, no, will you marry me? That's it. So I walk her to like the spot where we're supposed to propose, where I'm supposed to propose, and I'm just there like holding her hand, and I'm just like, oh crap, I'm supposed to give a speech. So I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I said. I don't
The
know.
only thing you hear is my mom saying, "No se oye."
Yo, her mom is her mom was like, so I was like, oh crap, they're supposed to hear a speech. Everybody's supposed to hear a speech. And her mom,
Honestly, I don't even know what he said.
but she was just like,
I was like, yes, 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 yes. But we ended up getting engaged. It was a really good engagement.
The last 3 months that we had.
Yeah, so that was November, and we got married in March. So I think that was a really quick engagement. Like for some people in other people's eyes, it's a very fast engagement.
No, it's funny though, because people make the joke of like, oh yeah, people that are Christian or whatever, they get married too quick. But I'm like, but I know people that are non-Christian or atheists that get married just as fast. It's not really. But,
Yeah,
but the joke I'm trying to make is like, at the end of the day, I'm like, if you just know,
you know.
you know, and if there's like, if you don't have a single thought or single question in your mind, you're kind of just like, yo, if we make it work in the friendship, we're gonna make it work in the marriage. We just go through it there. Because I'm like, why wait? Like,
Yeah.
what's the difference? And you know,
And
we've always just gone things head first.
mm-hmm.
That's kind of like what carries us through even now. Like even 3 years, 4, 5, whatever, how many years,
6 years
6 years,
together.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We're just vibing, having fun.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
think
take
we
things
also
too.
complement each other very well. Like when at dating, um,
Yeah,
you have to find someone who compliments you, who brings out the best in you, who pushes you to be the best version of
I don't know if
yourself.
I don't know if this episode doesn't emphasize it, but you're more of, obviously, hyperactive than I am. I don't know if that's the word.
I'm a crackhead.
Like this is yeah. I'm just more chill, laid back. So
But it depends though, because I'm more of, I guess, outgoing. I match energy, but with people that I know and I feel comfortable with. Hera, on the other hand, talks to everybody in the world that he doesn't know. Like this man will stay and have a conversation with you, and he will get to know you. With to me, I'll say hi and I'll be like,
she
I'll
be,
ask a couple of questions, but then I like.
she does the and walks away.
So we complement each other in that because he brings me out of my comfort zone in where, I have to speak to people, and I bring him out of his comfort zone in where,
I could be a crackhead.
yeah. So I think we complement each other very well. And one thing that he said in his vows that I never forget,
That I actually don't remember.
he said, "Date your best friend." That's always been our golden rule.
Until this day.
Yeah. When
Because, what was it? I know we're almost out of time, but it's just the thing
okay.
that we just care about. That we're just like, honestly, like, they're your best friend. Because in the 3 years that we've been, I'm like, emotions change every now and then. That lie that you have to be on fire for each other and like, oh my God, I'm melting for you every single day. Not real.
No.
You can have those moments up. Yeah, awesome. We have them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm like, realistically, we like being realistic here on this channel, on this page. It's like, you're not gonna do that every single day. Like, for example, like the biggest myth that we saw was like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna sleep together and like we're gonna go to cuddle all
Cuddle.
night. I get hot.
I was like, bro, get off of me. I
Yeah.
don't like cuddling.
So we're just like, hi, okay, good night. And I go. And we ended up getting a bigger bed so we can like,
Yeah.
and then Ellie in the middle. But anyways, so like all those little things is just like,
Even that, like, we also had to learn each other's love languages.
oh yeah, it's a big one too.
Because at the beginning, I didn't know. For those who don't know,
Oh yeah, love
there's a
languages.
test, the 5 love languages that you could take with your partner or even just as a single person to find out how you receive love and how you give
I
love.
recommend doing both. Because they have a single one and they have a partner one. And we realized that, like, for example, me, I'm very like dry to people that are not my significant other. I've always been like that, and she's kind of the same way. Because when we took the exam, or when she took the exam, because you're the better example, physical touch on her was like a zero.
To other people
To other people, like they'll hug me. But then, like when she took the exam with
in a
like the
relationship.
relationship questions, physical touch was like number one. So we kind of have to realize like, oh, like you like certain um languages, certain love languages,
Como
depending
dicen
on
los
who.
mexicanos, a mí me gusta que me apapachen.
Exactly. But like if a stranger does it, or someone's
I'm
like,
like, yeah, like we have this friend that she loves hugs. And she would always hug me, and I'd be like,
We're like, oh, get off me.
I'm like, get off me.
It's
I'm like,
different.
I
It's each
love you
their
too,
own.
but get off me.
But like I always said, like this is an example of like the tools that we use. We'll probably share the page 'cause I think they have an Instagram page, like the
Hmm.
love languages. But these are tools that we've used that to just like better our relationship throughout the years.
Yeah, and even though it sounds like silly things, they actually do help because when we got married, um, como que your love language changed a little bit, so he was
Mm-hmm.
more words of affirmation, and I had to realize that I had to be more
Yep. But
affirmative
the
to
good
him.
thing is that like even if let's say, because you know how it is. Well, to be honest with you, I'm like I know the way psychology works. Whatever, it's not consistent. I get it. Things can change. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, I'm a physical touch, and because of that, I don't eat meat or something. You know, like
What?
exactly. It's like a horoscope. It's not a horoscope. It's not set in stone. It'll
Yeah, no,
change.
it's not.
It's fine. Same thing with like character types and like enneagrams, whatever. I'm like, I live by them to the T. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, I'm acting like a 7 right now or whatever
I'm a 7.
or something, whatever. But like it's just tools that I think that thank God that we have to use to, I guess, identify what those needs and wants and things are. For
Yeah.
example, like if I had no idea what a love language is, I didn't know which one it is. I didn't know what it was, whatever. But now that we know the tools, and now we know how to point it out.
Hmm.
So if we're like, I don't know what's going on, but now we're like, oh no, I have a feeling that now that we know that physical touch exists or quality time and words of affirmation exist, now we know to use those tools to
Oh my God,
get
there's
more intimate
now
with
that
each
you
other.
said that, there's also
Anger.
another test. No, no, no. How you receive
Oh,
forgiveness.
there's an apology one. Yep.
Yeah, like
Which
how
that one I didn't really get as much.
no, but it's helpful to read about it.
Yeah.
The test I didn't really understand, but like what they have like on their Instagram page is
Hmm.
it's really nice and informative because to me, I was like, I don't know how I receive um an
Apologies.
apology. And then I realized I'm like, okay, so to me, they have to like for you, you have to come to me and like talk to me about what happened.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Algo
Yeah,
por
yeah, something
ahí.
like that.
It's been a long time I haven't read it.
Oh, se murió. Sorry,
Yeah.
baby monitor died. Um, just before we wrap this up, yeah, I think that's one of the things that we do, and I think even in dating, especially even before we even met, like dating wise, I was always obsessed with the idea of like dating and like having a significant other and the partnership that you create with one person. That's also a big thing too. Like some people believe that like, oh, you can have multiple partners, whatever. I'm like, we strongly disagree. I strongly disagree with that, and we can get into a whole conversation about it, whatever, and the effects that it has on you, yada yada, whatever. You can read them up too. You can Google a couple of things at ask ChatGPT, whatever, whatever. But like for us, like we had those common goals,
Morals.
common morals, common view of life, and I think that's one of the most important things because like that, even if it's just like a couple of tests or like the friendship motto or the golden rule and like that, those are things that like regardless of like if we're parents, regardless if you were pregnant or I was busy or I was tired or whatever it is, like we still fall on those things.
Yeah.
And like now we're more aware of like, oh no, like this is what you need. Like we argue better because of it. We fool
We've
or
grown.
we
We've matured.
which I think is also another good thing. If you constantly pursue one another, and not only in a romantic sense, but like an emotional sense, in a knowledge sense, I think you guys will be okay. So
Yeah.
my goal and my challenge to you guys is would be to find someone like that. Find somebody that definitely will challenge you in a way that will make you better. 'Cause at the end of the day, I'm like life is short. It really is. I've never, especially now being a dad, I've never noticed how fast life goes because now we're about to have a 10-month-old, and I swear I
She's
thought she
about to
was,
be a year.
and I swear she was like 2 months last week
I was literally crying looking at her videos today at work. But
before she
anyway.
couldn't even keep her head up. She'd be like,
Literally.
now she's like, let me out. She's trying to walk. But yeah, but anyways, sorry. We always gotta throw in parent jokes here and there because we're new parents. But like, I lost my train of thought. Yes, tools like that. I think those are very good things that we do, and those are things that we never let go. And I think that's kind of Why? I feel like we're in a very good place. I will boast about it. I'm like, yeah, I think we're in a good place.
Yeah.
We're in a very good place.
Yeah, we've
Because I've
matured
been
a
here
lot from like
week,
the first week of living
the
together.
first anything.
We'll get into our
Like
first time
shenanigans,
living
the
together.
shenanigans that you have. It's hilarious though.
Yeah, we'll get into that in the next episode because that was a lot of the questions that people
Oh yeah,
ask.
somebody asked that.
So we'll get into that. But yeah, like I think I'll always keep what he said. He was like, date your best friend. So give your
So
best friend a chance. Do what I did. It sounds like a St. Jude.
just for 15
Just
cents
for
a day.
15 cents a day, you can save a soul. You can be married to it.
Yeah. So episode 2.
But yeah, so
Date your best
this is my
friend.
best friend.
What was it? Sorry, my hands were just
This
comfy.
is my handshake.
Yeah, what was the handshake that we did at the wedding? Yo, who was it? The person that was married, that was supposed to marry us. I was like, you better not do that handshake.
Oh, because one day we were at church and I kissed him.
And then
No, I didn't kiss him. I gave him a handshake because I don't know, PSA in person. PSA?
public service announcement,
¿Cómo es?
PDA,
PDA.
public display of affection.
So he was like, no. Like not in public. So I was like, okay.
Which
I
we
was
can
like,
get into that eventually. Not
yeah.
right now because we're already like 11 minutes over.
I
But
was
the whole
like, okay.
concept of like things that you're accustomed to and how
Yeah.
that certain things will change. Anyways, but yeah, go ahead.
So I was like, all right, a handshake. And he was like,
Mind you, I've never been really a PDA person.
but I'm physical touch. I was like, oh. But he was like, no, handshake. I was like, oh, okay, handshake.
So then we made it accustomed to every time we see each other in public, we would give each other a handshake first.
Yeah. So then our
Mentor?
friend's mentor saw,
Mentor?
and he was like, ew, what are you doing? You guys are dating. You guys aren't siblings. Give him a kiss. And I was just like, okay. But we did the handshake. So at the wedding, we made it into a joke. We were like, this goes out to Gio because we did it before and then we kissed. So it was just funny. But no, at the end of the day, date your best friend. Give your best friend a chance because you can end up either married to them. It could be the best relationship ever, to be honest with you. Because if they're your best friend, they're oops. I keep hitting the mic.
You do?
Yeah.
Push it back. At the end of the day, your best friend is what your best friend, your friend, your best friend, your significant other is. You will see each other as friends. Because when you're not getting intimate, when you're not going on a romantic dates, when you don't have kids, whatever, and it's just you two, you guys are just friends at the end of the day.
Yeah, and if you have fun with that person, like,
Yo,
imagine what a marriage could be.
We be cracking up like in the middle of the night.
It would be like 2 in.the morning before we had Ellie.
No,
It'd be
even,
like 2 in.the morning.
even
We were
like
crying.
like
last
week that 2 weeks ago, something like that happened. It was like 1 a.m. I don't even know.
Yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Yesterday we were looking at the memes.
Oh my god, we were cracking up.
We went to sleep at 1 in the morning because my sister-in-law was sending memes.
I was cracking up. But anyways, speaking of that, what time is it? 11:55. We beat it. Anyways, thank you guys for our yap session. If you have any more questions, please send them our way.
But this was episode number 2. Date your best friend.